Welcome, Grizzlies. I'm Tony McNair, principal of McMinnville High School, and I'm really proud and honored to be a part of, I believe, the best high school in Oregon. One thing that makes us great is a program that we've been working on for 16 years, and that's our Career Pathway program. It gives students an opportunity to try an intro class, see if they like it, and if they do, provides them a series of other classes up to a pinnacle class like an internship or a real hands-on class or something working out in an industry partner that gives the kids a really good experience.
A lot of people come into this pathway with the misconception that if they are not artists already, this is not for them. They can't do what we're doing. And what I want people to know is this is for everybody. Art is a learned skill. Creativity is a learned skill. This is a pathway that's so much more than just drawing. There is painting, there is printmaking, there are murals, there is hand building with clay, there's sculpture, there's wheel throwing, there is interacting with the different kilns and learning how to stretch canvas. It's not just drawing. So if you come into this pathway, you are going to find something, find a medium, find a type of art that you're really going to gravitate to. This is not just something they do in high school, this is something that they can continue on to do throughout their entire lives.
Art is everywhere. We kind of forget that everything that we're interacting with was designed by or crafted by an artist. I think one thing that we need to stress is art is fun. You're in there, you're making, you're creating, and it gives you a chance to really get to know the people around you. Most of our class time is studio time, so students are able to interact with each other, interact with their teachers one-on-one, and so we really get to know students probably on a deeper level than a lot of your other classes, and you get to know each other on a deeper level because you're sharing a lot of yourself in the arts, and we get to show that off, and we get to celebrate both mistakes and successes. And I think it's important to understand that you're going to make mistakes. We want you to take some risks, and this is the type of class where we really encourage that, and we're excited for everyone to kind of get involved and get to know each other through the arts.
We are the soundtrack to the high school, to our community. We perform everywhere within the state. We perform, of course, in our schools at all the athletic events. We perform concerts. We perform in the hallways. We perform all the time, everywhere. People hear us, people see us.
You are not going to be wealthy pursuing a music education career, but you don't do it for that reason. You do it because you're passionate about it. And musicians are passionate people. Artists are passionate people. And that's why we get into this field. But if you're interested in recording, you can be a recording engineer, a producer. You can be a songwriter. Being a performer is one of the most incredible feelings you can possibly have.
Our pathway is special because we get to affect people. I just love teaching in the classroom and developing the family that develops there. But we want you to know there's a place for everyone in our department. We have beginning choirs, we have beginning band, we have beginning strings, guitar, percussion. There's a place for everybody, and I think that's what makes us special. Also, when you go into music as a profession, you're changing people's lives. People are affected by music every day.
In the theater arts pathway, you can be in the plays, you can work behind the scenes of the plays, doing lights or costumes, hair and makeup, painting the scenes in set design. You also get to go on field trips to the Portland Center stage in downtown Portland and see lots of professional shows. We also get to see plays that are done at the local gallery theater, and we go to Salem to the Pinnacle Theater to see shows done there as well. Some of the careers that the theater arts pathway includes are obviously acting, but there are so many more careers that are possible. Set design, costume design, hair and makeup design. You could be a mask maker, you could make props, you could work on the sets not only of professional plays, but also of film. We've had several students go to New York, a few to Los Angeles. One of the best parts of my job is I get to see kids from all over the school, very different people come together and create the plays and create performances in class get to know each other in the classes, and really become a type of a family here at school. I feel like the skills that you will gain from the theater arts pathway, you'll be comfortable standing up in front of your class when you need to do a speech. You'll be comfortable giving a job interview, and you'll probably gain a lot of good friends as well as confidence along the way.
Everything we do is completely group-based, so you're working closely with your peers, and there's a ton of variety to what we end up doing every day. We teach you to make a ton of different types of foods from scratch, all kinds of desserts, pastas, soups, breads, foreign foods, and you have a lot of choices in what you end up doing. We also really focus on effective communication skills, things you're going to use in the future workplace, and then we teach you basic life skills, things you're going to need to run your own home, feed yourself and your family in the future.
The careers available within the culinary arts and hospitality industry are truly vast and immense. Students come in with the common misconception that they're only going to work in a quick service restaurant or own their own restaurant someday, when that couldn't be further from the truth. There's an availability with taking photographs, so food styling, as well as being a food critic, all the way up to hotel restaurant management. It's not simply limited to working within a kitchen. If you enjoy the science aspect, you could work in a laboratory developing ways to preserve foods, create new foods. Truly, the jobs are changing every day. This is the second largest private sector within the United States, so most likely your first job is going to be something related to food service and within this industry. Other things I'd like students to know about this pathway, we do have a student-run catering enterprise. Students are able to gain employment while they're still in high school, which is a huge advantage for students enrolled in this ProStart program. A little bit about ProStart: it is a nationally accredited program. It's 2 years, and it's geared towards preparing students to be successful when they enter the industry post-secondary.
Our pathway is unique in that we have an on-site hands-on experience that's offered for our students. 2 of the classes that we offer, that is the class, is to be one of the teachers or part of the staff at Bear Hugs that is spending their whole class period in there interacting with the children, either the infants, the toddlers, or the preschoolers. I think the students see that as stepping away from the high school world and into the world of children, which is just a happy place, and we offer that, and that is the key of what we do in the early childhood education pathway.
The most obvious careers are those working with young children, perhaps being an infant, toddler, or preschool teacher in a child development center. They could be an early elementary teacher or an older elementary school teacher as well. Our pathway pairs so well with our education pathway here at McMinnville High School, but it also pairs with several of the other pathways, such as health services. We've had a number of students that have taken health services, and with that, they are going to look ahead towards careers perhaps in pediatrics, being a pediatric physician, nurse, working in a neonatal intensive care unit, a variety of different career goals that our students tell us about.
Well, I think if you really think about children, we interact with children in every aspect of our life. It may be a career, but it also may be your niece or nephew, or your own children, or your neighbors. So learning about children is a valuable tool to have for any of us throughout our life, but also it makes us learn more about ourselves.
We are one of the unique ones where all of our students are already experts in this field. You guys have all been in school for a really long time, and you have had lots of unique experiences.
Every class in the ed pathway has some component where you're actually out in the schools and you're getting to do what teachers do. So that could be from observation in the intro class, the mini little practicum in the Ed 2 class, and then your Ed intern experience. You're actually out in the classroom, you're with a teacher that you choose every other day for whatever period you're in, and you basically get to be a high school version of a student teacher. The final component that all the students in our Ed pathway get to do, they will partake in different elementary school field trips. So at Miller Woods, leading third graders, and at the water treatment facility leading fifth graders. They run the field trips, they take the kids around to the different stations, and they actually get to teach.
In our pathway, you can pursue lots of different careers in education. Mainly we focus on teaching. So if you are interested in being an elementary, middle school, or high school teacher, we spend a little more time talking about elementary and middle school because you guys are already in high school, so you know what that experience is already like for you.
One of the best parts about this pathway for me as a teacher that's been doing it for a number of years now is the number of students that we have that have gone on, graduated, pursued education, and we have a number of them not only teaching in our high school but teaching in our district and around. And it's a pretty fulfilling deal for both of us as the teachers, but also the students that are in our pathway. I think it's something they gain a lot out of, and helps really prepare them for when they go to college and they start their education program. They know it's what they want to do.
Got done yesterday putting together how to do fingerprints. We do blood typing. We do blood spatter, which is always fun because kids get to throw blood around and have all sorts of enjoyable times. We do a lot with fibers and soil, and Mr. Crabtree, who is our district resource officer, comes in and sets up an actual crime scene that he went through as sheriff. Yeah, we have a lot of guest speakers coming in. We have juvenile probation officers come in and talk in class, and you get to see their job, which I think would be really fun. We have U.S. Marshals coming in and talking. We have the county jail and patrol officers come in. We have a lot of opportunities to get connected to real people and real jobs. We do a lot with criminology, with minds and laws, and so we study a lot of serial killers and serial arsonists in that class. A lot of hands-on stuff with this pathway. We have an internship that is set up with the city, the state, the county, Linfield, and the law office. And we have a second internship for a second semester that we focus on areas where kids really like to be, such as last year we had 2 kids at Linfield that got hired for the summer. It's pretty exciting, pretty exciting. This pathway is all about the criminal justice system, all the way from police work and security work to law and judges.
We have different mediums in our pathway, from print to video production to photography. But what we really do in all of our classes is tell stories. And I think that's kind of at the heart of what we're doing with the pathway. Some of the things that we do are getting outside of the classroom. Most of our classes aren't sitting in the room, but we're out on field shoots, we're broadcasting for MCM at basketball games, and we're getting out there and we're doing hands-on experience with equipment.
You get to learn things about how to go in and do low aperture and high aperture. You get to learn about shutter speed. You get to learn how to go back in and do different things about manual settings, and we'll learn how to work with white balance and ISO. In the area of media production and video production, you get to learn some really neat things of how to go in and capture video, how to go in and manipulate video and use Premiere, and do some really neat things in the area of video production. What's really neat about that, as freshmen and sophomores, there's a lot of opportunities to go in and to learn earn some college credit.
We're in a digital age, and we're digital storytellers, so there's a lot of careers in that. It depends on if you want to be in front of the camera or behind it, whether you're in a studio or outdoors, so there's a lot of different venues or avenues you could take, whether it's animating or special effects or being a news head sitting at a table and delivering the news.
It's a very hands-on based program that looks at healthcare in a lot of different avenues. There's a career exploration project that our students do in Health Occupations 1, along with learning how to take vital signs, including blood pressure and pulse. And then finally, for our Health Occupations 2 class, is our internship-based class. Our students get to head out to the community and participate in 4 12-hour job shadow internship experiences out at the hospital and other various medical communities or centers here in town.
There's a lot of different areas that students can explore in the pathway. A lot of them are directly involved with patient care, and some not so much if that's not something that you want to be involved in. So anything from different types of surgery, various specialties of physicians, veterinary, emergency services like EMT, paramedics, sports medicine, like athletic training, physical therapy, you name it. pretty much anything that you can think of in terms of healthcare. There's at least a little bit of an opportunity to get involved somehow in the pathway. Our pathway is really unique in that it provides opportunities for high school kids to experience things that most high school kids don't have the opportunity to. Those 4 12-hour internships really give kids a taste of whether or not they truly want to be involved in the healthcare system. So it's a really good opportunity to experience that while you're still in high school before you even get to college.
The most exciting thing about computer science pathway is what you do when you finish. You basically can go into any field that you want. You can be a computer scientist working on the next driverless car. You can be a software engineer programming a robot that does surgery on patients. You can do anything that you want, because computers are incorporated in each and every part of our lives today. So you can take the knowledge that you have learned here in the high school and expand it to any field that you want to study after school. So programming is basically solving a problem and then describing that solution in details using a programming language. Some of the programming languages would be C++ or Java. You learn the language, so you learn the tool, and then you solve the problem. The problems could be in any field that you can choose, whether it's the medical field, whether it is engineering field, whether mechanical engineering, space exploration, any field that you use a computer in, you become a programmer or a computer scientist and apply your knowledge in programming in that field. If you like to solve problems, if you like mathematics, if you like to have a field that is going to be very lucrative when you graduate.
We are able to take things that you're interested in and get you outside to experience them. And so what we'll do is we'll take a fisheries class and take you out and have you watch salmon spawn in the stream. Or we'll have a forestry class and we'll take you out and you'll learn how to cruise timber. So I think no matter what we do, we have such a wide range of coursework. All of them have really fun outdoor lab experiences that will teach you first in the classroom how to do it and then take you outside of the classroom and have you experience it. And this is what makes us unique and exciting. And then when you culminate our pathway, you get to choose your own experiment and have a field experience where you make up what you want to do. And so right now, students that are working with me are using a drone and they're trying to figure out a way to survey different areas, and they're having lots of fun doing it.
Some of the common careers that we kind of focus on are fish and wildlife biologists, foresters or forest technicians. A nice piece about being having a career in natural resources is the ability to work outside and work with individual animals and know that you have a first-hand experience and some effort from yourself in protecting and preserving the species in our environment for all ecosystems.
Yeah, students in the natural resource pathway are exposed to a wide variety of different courses, and that really helps them to gain an appreciation for the natural world. They learn all about how humans impact the environment and ways that we can help to reduce that impact.
Advanced students get to use this foundational knowledge to go on and look at the financial transactions and recordings of businesses. My advanced students run the Action Corner, the student-run enterprise here at the high school. Through that, they get to learn basic skills like money handling and customer service, as well as the value of working well as a team. They can choose what interests them and pursue that, whether it is the accounting side, whether it is apparel design, whether it is promotions, anything that they want to look into, they're free to run with it.
I always say that accounting is the perfect career for those students that are a little type A personality and like black and white, right and wrong answers. It's a perfect career for you.
A student who enjoys marketing is one who will get to use both sides of their brain. The creative side, but there's a lot that goes behind it too. The planning, the logistics, the operations.
We do lots of field trips, lots of drills. Some of the drills we have done recently, ladder truck, the students got to test their courage of going up the ladder and then dropping themselves off onto a building. Next week we're going to be going out and doing extrication drill where they will get to take a car apart using tools. In my wildland fire class just recently, we went out and we did prescribed burns, looking at fire behavior, how to dig a line, how to work as a team. Also in my intro to EMS class, we have a vast amount of guest speakers that come in that they get to learn about the career choices that are available to them. Some of our most recent ones were the FBI. We had the fire marshal in. We've had people from the FAA in. We've had people from the Secret Service. The list goes on and on. Students do a project and they can invite guest speakers in. My search and rescue class just recently went to a survival day where we spend an entire day outside, where we show them many ways to start a fire using different tools. But of course there's a firefighter, there's paramedic, there's EMT, there's wildland firefighter. And then there's everything else that you could imagine that falls under emergency services, whether it be working for the FBI, working for Homeland Security, working for the state police, working for the sheriff's department. Some of the jobs that are in the fire and emergency services pathway, they are very physically demanding and mentally demanding, but there are lots of things that you can do in this pathway that are not physically demanding.
We get to make, and not just make things, but design them. So learning the skills to take a goal or a challenge and identify what needs to be done and make a really detailed plan and follow it through. And so that happens on a smaller scale as first-year students with hydraulic machines and things will shoot things across the room as far as possible, or 3D model and 3D print various projects that have a certain criteria. And then into our sophomores or second-year students, we have lots of robotics and machines that are being programmed and the mechanical engineering behind that. And into our upperclassmen, where we're doing more extensive projects with like things like hovercrafts, or learning how to do some other skills like bringing in welding and learning pneumatics and microcontroller programming and making machines that are really complex and do amazing things.
Our program is unique, where freshmen have the opportunity of earning college credit. We offer classes called From Project Lead the Way, and those courses are articulated with Oregon Institute of Technology. So all of our engineering courses actually offer college credit.
We've had all kinds of students do all kinds of things. There's broad categories like mechanical engineering. That means you're going to build things. You could be designing trucks, you could be designing turbines. We had students who ended up in electrical type projects too. A lot of our students are really more interested in computers and programming, and so video games, movies, and a lot of just industrial advertising. It truly is everything you want to do.
It's an opportunity to learn a lot of new tools and equipment that most people don't get a chance to operate or learn how to use. So you'll learn how to use those things safely, and then as we progress with learning how to operate basic hand tools to welding equipment, then we move on to possibly some fabrication field trips to different industries around the valley. The other opportunities for fabrication is unlimited chances for opportunities for careers, high-paying jobs. Fabrication has an unlimited amount of resources for careers. You may decide to be just solely a welder and just go weld the same weld over and over, or it might be a skill that you have to put yourself in front of everybody else in line to get a career. A lot of mechanics, if you can weld, you're going to be in front of everybody else. Robotics, NASA, NASCAR, all have some form of welding, from high-tech jobs to low-tech jobs. Fabrication and welding somewhat can seem very simple, but as you develop skills, you learn to appreciate the fact that what you do is a skill and takes development and takes some work and practice, like most skills. You can take pride and satisfaction that you built that. But it is intimidating, but if you work at it and take a good attitude, it easily can be mastered and you can get good at it.
So after our introductory woodshop classes, which are just kind of knick-knack, you know, we're making little project boxes, cutting boards, end tables, pretty much anything that just small projects, getting kids acclimated to the wood shop. And then when we find that they have some pretty good skills or interest in carpentry and woodworking, you can move on to my construction classes. I feel like through my program, I'm constantly talking with kids and telling them the different opportunities, and it might be an electrical apprenticeship, it might be a plumbing apprenticeship, you know, all these different trades overlap, you know, things need to be measured, things need to be fastened, and once you can read a tape measure and have a general understanding of the scope of a project, really your interest levels can take you to a lot of different places. So I'll tell you, guys, if I was a student nowadays in this block schedule, if you're a kid that finds yourself sitting around in class and it's an hour and a half and it's long and I'm fidgety, my program is great for you. We get up, we move around, we do things. We work with our hands. What I love about the trades or carpentry specifically is at the end of the class or the end of the day, there's a tangible product that you can see that you've made, and generally you feel pretty good about that because it's something that you did. You know, I have kids come to me all the time, gosh, I made this project for my grandmother or a family member and they were so proud of me, or you know, I've had kids say, you know, this was a way that connected me with my grandfather or my father in a way that I wasn't able to before. It's very hands-on, it's very fun, and I might even tell you a funny joke or two.